Welcome back to Surviving and Thriving, where we share with you the things that we have learned as we have transitioned our family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it, in the hopes that something that we share with you will help you, enlighten you, and encourage you as you transition your family from struggling to survive disease to thriving, right smack dab in the midst of it. Everything that will be done in this earth has already been done. There is nothing new under the sun. And with that, it rains on the just as well as the unjust. Everybody faced challenges, good and bad. Fortune and misfortune happen to all people, regardless of your status, regardless of your race, regardless of your gender, regardless. Everyone experience good and bad challenges and obstacles in this life. Why am I sharing those things with you? Well, because those are things that I have to tell myself. Those are things that I have to look at and tell myself to encourage myself to keep a good attitude, a positive attitude, and keep my perspective right so that I can see right, so that I can move forward, right, in a progressive, positive way. So many times, you can, when you're going through, it gets hard. It gets really hard. And it's not a good place. And it's easy to think, woe is me. Why me? Why am I going through this? Right? And to think that your life, is just harder than everyone else's, especially like when I've grown up and I've had a good life. I've had a good life, but I've had some challenges from birth. I mean, I've had some challenges. It wasn't always easy, you know, and you can look back and think, my goodness, I had to go through all of that. I had to fight from the day I got here, and I got to fight for my health. And you can have a pity party. Woo, you can have a good pity party, right? And it's self-defeating, and it will hinder you from getting better. It'll hinder you from progressing in life and from moving from surviving to thriving. And we don't want to ever think self-defeating thought. Everything that we do needs to be self-propelling, self-motivating, right? And that's how I try to live my life. So I have to look at this thing and say, you know what? Everybody has challenges. Everybody has gone through something. Everybody in this life will go through multiple big things in their life that's going to challenge them to their max at some point in time. My challenge happens to be at this time in my life, health issues. So by looking at it like that, I don't look at it as woe is me, poor me. I look at it as this is what I have to overcome. Others may have to overcome other things. And I can look at their other things and go, ooh, that's pretty easy. I can take that. But I don't really know. And I don't really know if I could take that or not. But what I do know is this is what I've been dealt and this is what I need to handle. So I don't really look at other people's battles and what they're going through in the sense to compare their life to mine. I don't compare my life to anybody else or my challenges to anybody else to make me feel good or to make me feel bad. Now, when I do look at things to say that nothing in this world that has been done or nothing that will be done has not ever been done. When I look at it like that, I look at it as in what I'm going through, somebody else has gone through before. But I don't look at it in a negative way, because sometimes people come and they'll tell me, well, what you're going through, you're not the only person who's going through that. Well, I didn't ask you to come over my house. I didn't ask you to visit me. I didn't even complain to you about what I'm going through. So why are you telling me that? Because a lot of people tell it to you with an attitude, and I have to know that that's something that's going on personal in their life, right? Not mine. It's something that they have to deal with. But what I do look at, and what I have learned from that is this: when you tell somebody that, say it with the right attitude and the right motive, and that in and of itself is not really motivational. It doesn't really motivate me to know that, or help me or make me feel better about my situation, know that somebody else is having a harder time, because I'm going through a lot at times, right? And I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. So why would I want to hear that somebody else is going through that? I'm not a misery loves company kind of person. That don't make me feel good. So how I have to look at that, and if you ever tell somebody that, don't leave that phrase by itself. You have to add something onto it. And I'm going to tell you what I add onto it to help me, right? I'm not the first person that gone through this. Other people have gone through worse, right? But those who have gone through this, some who have gone, not all, but some, there's somebody out there who's gone through this or who's gone through worse, who, guess what? They didn't falter up underneath that thing. They conquered that thing and they came out of it, right? Or while they were going through it, they didn't stop living life to the fullest. They still accomplished everything that disease said that they would not be able to accomplish. They still did everything that sickness said that they would not be able to do. They conquered that thing. They smashed that thing. And so guess what? I can do it too. I'm going to do it too, because there's nothing new under the sun. And guess what? I'm going to be an example for somebody else in the future. God forbid that they have to go through this, but maybe they'll hear about me and I'll be the example that somebody says to them that, guess what? You're not the only person who went through this. But I know somebody who went through it. Not only did she come out of it, but she lived her life to the fullest in the midst of it. So if you share that kind of that statement with somebody else, add that extra stuff to it to motivate them. But if nobody shared that with you, that's what I have to tell myself. And maybe that might help you, right? To know that you're not the only person who's going through it, but there's people who did this thing and they did it right. And guess what? I can be in that company. You can be in that company. People who went through, smashed it, and lived life to the fullest extent and had a great life and had a blast while they were in the middle of it. And guess what? They came out of it. They conquered that thing. They stepped all over it. They got the victory, right? That could be us. That's a motivating way to say that. But if you start thinking about, woe is me, why I got to go through this, right? I'm going to be the first person to tell you, I don't like this walk. I don't like having to deal with these things that I got to deal with my body. Some of them places I've been in, y'all, they were hard places, and I would never want to go through that again. And I would never, ever in my life wish that on anybody. You know, I would never wish that on anybody. But if I have to go through it, I'm not going to sit up and feel sorry for myself, because sorry for myself leads you to a grave. You know, and everybody's going to go one day, but today is not my day. My day is way off about 100 years from now, right? And so if you've got to go through it, go through with a good mindset. Don't allow yourself to ever have self-defeating thought. Woe is me, self-defeating. My life is so harder than everybody else. Self-defeating. You know, I got challenges. Nobody else have challenges on this level. Self-defeating. I don't even look at the things that I have to go through, you guys, as a challenge. In the sense that I don't look at it as a weight or a burden. I've come to a place in my life where I look at it as, this is something that I got to deal with, but it's off here to the side. In my mind, right, I can do all things. There's nothing that I can't do. There's nothing I won't try. When I set my schedule out and I look at the things that I have to do in the day, I don't look at it as, well, I can't do that. I look at it as, if I can't do it today, I'm going to work on it, because I'm going to smash that thing tomorrow. I'm going to work on it till I can get the ability to do that. There's nothing in this world that I want to do that I don't feel like I can do. I don't even say I can't do anything, or I can't eat that, or I can't do this, or I can't go nowhere. You know what I say? I say I choose not to do that right now. And why do I choose not to do that? Because it's not in my best interest today, but I will be doing it again. Okay? So I hope that helped you. I don't ever want you to defeat your own self. Okay? You never want to defeat your own self. You always want to have your thoughts in a position that's going to cause you to win. And never look at what you're going through and have a victim mentality. Remember, we are victors. I'm a victor. I'm not a victim. You're a victor. You're not a victim. You're a conqueror in all things. Remember, do you. Appreciate you watching. Until next week. Bye.